Let's be totally honest for a second here. The modern world, it's just exhausting right now. Between the economy, the constant political theater, and whatever fresh chaos is trending on the news today, it is so incredibly easy to feel like you are entirely trapped inside a system that is fundamentally rigged against you. The narrative we see everywhere is just control, control, control. But what if the foundation of everything we've been taught about this so-called matrix is actually completely backwards?
What if the system isn't rigged against you? I know, that sounds completely counterintuitive. We are practically conditioned from birth to believe that the external world is this tightly woven trap controlled by shadowy elites and massive corporations intentionally keeping us down. But what if we've been looking at the wrong battlefield this entire time?
Because what if the key to your freedom is already in your mind? This is a massive paradigm shift. We're talking about the realization that true power doesn't sit out there in the world. It is held entirely inside your own mind. It's the understanding that your internal mental focus and your beliefs are what actually shape the reality you experience.
Just think about the 3 boxes of modern life for a second. We literally wake up in a box that we pay to live in. Then we get into another metal box that we pay to drive. All so we can commute to a third box where we work just hard enough to pay for the first 2. It's absolutely absurd when you really step back and look at it, right? No wonder people feel trapped. But recognizing this crazy loop is the first step to actually transcending it.
So let's dive into part 1, the collective nervous system. Because to really understand how we get trapped in this loop, we have to zoom way out and look at the macro level. The whole global structure we see out there is actually a macro manifestation of humanity's collective inner state.
8 billion. That is how many of us are on this planet right now. And every single one of those 8 billion human beings is simultaneously projecting their own unresolved beliefs, their traumas, and their deepest fears right out into reality. It's like a giant, messy tapestry being woven together all at once. When you walk out your front door, you are bumping into the limiting beliefs of billions of other people.
Which leads us to a rather profound realization. The system is essentially a giant mirror, reflecting humanity's unresolved generational trauma. All that chaos and outrage we see globally, it isn't just random acts of a broken world. It is literally the physical materialization of our unhealed internal pain. The world is just reflecting back exactly what we are holding on to inside.
Moving right along to part 2, the fear porn trap. Because make no mistake, the system actively weaponizes this unhealed collective trauma against you as an individual. It uses our own biology to keep us locked into that whole 3 boxes cycle we just talked about.
I mean, think about your own habits. Why is the news so addictive? You've probably had those nights after a long day of work where you're just doom scrolling, right? The news is relentlessly pessimistic, yet for some reason, there's this magnetic pull and we just cannot look away from the drama.
Well, the answer is fear porn. This is media programming specifically designed to trigger your unhealed generational trauma and capture your attention. Have you ever noticed how different news stations often use the exact same script? That's because it's a program. The system knows you have accumulated fear in your nervous system, so it presents external chaos as a perfect match to trigger you. To see how deeply embedded this is, just look at the accumulation of trauma over time. 2,000 years ago, tribal warfare meant there was a very real, constant threat of your village being wiped out. That intense survival fear didn't just vanish, it was passed down. It funneled right into your grandparents, then to your parents, and now directly into you. Today's global media triggers are literally hitting millennial-old inherited survival programs. So why does the system fight so hard to trigger you? Simple. Because your attention is the literal currency of the universe. This is a huge takeaway. Your attention is your consciousness. When you get outraged and react to the scandals and the fear porn, you are feeding the exact system you hate with your own vital energy. It relies on your disturbance to survive. Which brings us to part 3, attention sovereignty. If your attention is what powers the matrix, then reclaiming your focus is the ultimate way to starve it of its power. If you want true freedom, you have to stop handing your energy over to external chaos. There's this amazing quote from the spiritual teacher Paramahansa Yogananda: "Stand unshaken amidst the crash of breaking worlds." It definitely looks like old systems are collapsing and the world is breaking right now, doesn't it? But to achieve attention sovereignty, you have to learn to witness this chaos without emotionally reacting to it. You have to become the unbothered observer. This completely reframes that old historical wisdom to turn the other cheek. A lot of people think that just means passive submission, but it's actually the ultimate metaphysical boundary.
When the world strikes you with a trigger, turning the other cheek means deliberately redirecting your attention toward creation. It's pulling your focus away from the fear and putting it into something much more expansive.
So, let's get into part 4, escaping the matrix internally. Because escaping isn't about moving off the grid into some bunker. It requires profound internal responsibility. Here is how you actually step into a completely new reality.
Right now, we are facing a massive split in realities. Path 1 is the old way, reacting to the system, getting hooked by fear porn, and staying trapped in chaos. But Path 2 is entirely different. Path 2 is healing yourself. By withdrawing your energetic attention from the dying system, you naturally begin to build a prosperous parallel life filled with abundance and freedom.
So, to achieve true freedom, you must adopt some radical responsibilities right now. First, stop doom scrolling. Cut out the fear porn immediately. Second, cut out numbing habits like excessive screen time or alcohol that you use to avoid your feelings. You've got to forgive your resentments, you have to transform your limiting beliefs, and most importantly, you have to starve the fear by completely ignoring the things designed to scare you.
And that leaves us with one final massive question to think about. What if the prison isn't out there, but in here? The external world is always going to have its chaos, for sure. But you don't have to be a victim to it. I challenge you to stop fighting the ghosts of a broken system and start reclaiming the limitless power of your own focused, healed mind. Ultimately, that is exactly how you escape.